But the guy who we also talked to after practice that I thought had a horrendous day was Trey Lance. And I find this kid to be so compelling. He's so easy to root for because he's a sweet kid. He's trying hard. He wants this dream. He's all about football. Football's the family business. His dad played in the Canadian League. I scouted his dad in the mid 90s, Carlton, when he was with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I'm rooting for Trey, but man, I don't know if it's just today, but it just seems like Sam Darnold has a lot of momentum on this number 2 quarterback job. I thought Darnold, threw a couple dimes today, and not only did Trey struggle, he completed either 1 of 4 of 2 or 2 of 5, depending on who you talk to. I thought the body language was awful. There were times when he was just kind of looking down. There was one where he dropped back to pass, looked through one window, didn't get it. Then he looked to another window, didn't get it, and started running. And in the midst of that, you heard somebody right behind, the players and the coaches are all lined up behind him. And at some point, I heard somebody said, "Throw the ball," like throw it, like right in there. And I don't know, and obviously it wasn't coming from the media. And I just feel like Trey is losing confidence. And then we talked to him. Give me your takeaway. You were at practice. Give me your takeaway, both from the practice and from our little interview session with him afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been, I thought today was a great example of why. And everyone, a lot of different guys, a lot of different reporters, not just guys, a lot of different people keep track of the completions and incompletions. Right. And I'm glad they do it, in part because it also gives us how many, the rep count to me is significant. And the rep count is eye-opening. To me, the rep count is far more important when you've got 4 quarterbacks than the completions and incompletions for an individual day. Now, the total after we get to 3 weeks of football, now those numbers add up to something, right? 60% or 70% or 55% or whatever. But I thought, forget about the numbers. Trey's 2 misses were the worst kind of misses, 2 of the worst types of misses in a Kyle Shanahan offense. I thought, and I did a stream earlier, and one of the things I put up was the quote from Brandon Allen yesterday. Mayoko wrote about it, in which he described what's necessary to run Kyle Shanahan's offense. And it was basically put the ball where it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be there. And, I today was logging throws above replacement. How many throws guys made above like just a regular replacement level throw. And the fact is, there aren't a lot of spectacular throws today. Kyle Shanahan doesn't give 2 rips. Kyle Shanahan cares more about, I made some names for throws today. One was throws above replacement.
Okay.
This is my Habermetrics or guy football focus, Larry.
Okay.
The other is price of admission throws. Another way to say a layup throw. But like, this is if you're going to be Kyle Shanahan's quarterback, this throw is the price of admission. Doesn't mean he's going to love you. Doesn't mean he won't replace you. But for him to consider making you a starter, you have to make these price of admission throws. And those are the easy throws and the open throws. And for Trey to put a ball at Braden Willis's feet and to put a ball at Jordan Mason's feet today in the flat, it is a price of admission throw. They weren't even close misses. Those were significant throws. When you combine it with Darnold making some really professional throws today. So yeah, I have Darnold ahead of Trey today. And I'm somebody who said in OTAs, I didn't think Darnold was any better than Trey in OTAs.
I agree.
And I didn't think Darnold was better than Trey on the first day, but he's been better than Trey the last 2 days. And then you look at the snap counts, Larry, and the starter has 21, and then 2, 3, 4 in whatever order are all very close. And so there's a competition going on there that goes beyond just the number 2 quarterback.
The pass to Braden Willis, it's like he didn't give him a chance at it. You got a back who's in the flat, moving away from the quarterback, and he threw it where he couldn't even get a finger on it. It was so
he did the same
low.
Thing yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and it's at his feet as he's moving away from Trey. That is a layup. That is, it's like Kyle is thinking when he's calling that play, okay, we're going to have, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, and then all of a sudden you're staring at 2nd and 10. Those are just yards that you cannot. Pro quarterbacks have to be able to complete those passes with consistency.
I know.
What's shocking to me is I feel like Trey Lance sounds like a player and looks like a player that is losing confidence, and I'm not sure why. Is it because the presence of Darnold, the presence of Allen, he senses there's not a belief, that maybe the powers that be no longer believe. Is it? I don't know. But what'd you think of the body language from Trey at practice? Because he has a couple. I mean, the bad throws are bad throws, and we can analyze that. Those are physical mistakes. But the body language when you're the leader and the quarterback on a football team's the leader, and he's looking down and he just looks defeated. And then there was a couple times where I felt like he missed the windows, knew he missed the windows. And the way he started to run was like, I'd like to just not be here right now. I'm going to run,
but I'm not go somewhere.
I got to go somewhere. I missed both windows. I'll just run. And I brought this up a couple times last year as well. There were a number of training camp runs, and people were like, well, he took off, and people were like, wow, look at the speed. More times than not, if a quarterback drops back to pass, surveys the field, and starts running in training camp, that's generally not a good thing. That means that,
especially after what happened to Joe Burrow yesterday.
Exactly. The window opened, the window closed, and you got to do something.
Well, Purdy had multiple plays today where he was sacked. Purdy almost threw a pick to Isaiah Oliver that I think the play was over, and his option was either run, everyone stopped on the defensive line, or just screw it, I'll just throw it. That's what that was, right?
Right. It was a sack.
Yeah, I thought I love being body language doctor. I try not to be too hard on Trey today because I thought his body language was excellent the first day. And even yesterday, I thought it was excellent. Like, I think somebody asked me, and I think as a group, the 4 quarterbacks, like, do move, kind of talk, interact. They move as 4 when it comes to these drills. It's not one guy jogging with his head down. After Trey's second bad throw on the flat, he did the clap hands together, that sort of thing. It's hard to know. Was that damn bad miss by me? Or was that, oh my God, this is so bad. I can't believe this is happening to me. Either way, he's aware of this. There aren't that many opportunities. And that is the throw. He's probably thinking, I'm going to hear about that one in film. Because he knows that's the throw. That throw right there is the one I'm going to hear about. And that's the one I have to make because that's the one Purdy makes. And that's the one that, like you said, Brandon Allen cannot – his deep ball is not even close to catchable. Trey's is. But that's not – Kyle would rather you hit that one on the flat than that you hit the deep ball. So, I haven't been in that room to watch Trey I think watching a guy in person is far more valuable than watching a guy on a screen in terms of a press conference. I had somebody ask me today if I thought Trey's body demeanor was bad in the press conference. I'd be lying if I said I've sat in front of him enough to have as good a feel. You and some other people who are there who have been there more watching him talk. I didn't think it was bad. How could he have the confidence of the starter? He's not. I mean, he's gone from the starter last year, like clear cut, no doubt my team, to clearly it's not his team. He's not the starter, and he's in a battle for the number 2 spot, and he's got another guy with him battling for the 3rd spot. So I think it's hard. Also today, if I were to defend him, I'd say there was no crowd today. There was a crowd the first 2 days. A little easier to get your body going, to get your hype going. But I wonder if after yesterday he put a little more pressure on himself because yesterday was not a great day. And then you come out today thinking I got to be better today, and then you're not, And then I think it's probably naturally difficult to split reps with 3 other guys. That's a lot of standing around and waiting for your next rep. So, I don't know. I don't know how much to read into how bad it was, Larry, but I think it's fair to say it wasn't good.
The thing that makes if there wasn't a money factor, then I don't think this is this is a real juicy debate because you've got Brock, who's the starter, and then you've got Trey and Sam, and those are your three quarterbacks. But then you look at the money side of it, and you could look at it one way and go, hey, you know what? The total quarterback room is going to cost you $15 million, and that's a bargain.
Didn't they pay Blaine Gabbert? Like, what'd they pay Blaine? Remember that? It was like, yeah, you paid Blaine $6 million, but the quarterback room's still cheap.
Right. But I mean, on the other hand, you do have a loaded team for 2024 and a lot of guys with big cap figures and the ability to roll over money. I just don't know do the 49ers, I mean, what's that going to do to Trey Lance's confidence if he is number 3? I mean, isn't that just going to ruin the kid if he's number 3 after last year being number 1?
Maybe they would say maybe is it possible there's a world in their mind where he just will not be the third quarterback? Like, what's the point?
Okay, first of all, I went and looked at every third string quarterback in the league as far as who they are and what they make. They all make about $1 million, and they signed Brandon Allen to a contract for $1,080,000. So they basically gave him third quarterback money to come here. So to me, it's like Brock's your starter. He's your one. Brandon Allen's your $1 million third string quarterback. And Sam Darnold and Trey Lance are competing to be number 2. I just don't know that the 49ers are going to pay 9 times what the league average is